statistics important to me.
How
what I call real GDP growth. Real GDP growth very close to an end in itself. Numbers I say no ingredients. I come inflation, exchange rate, there's so many statistics a call into as a way and but then quino pa ni outcome back pa when fufu na fe do den kwan agusua se ne obetini taste ni ade no any real GDP
o tini hwano nkwa untimi mfa nkase nkwan you can only say ebeye there until you taste it
what you say intina make some indicators ni ade a wan hwe ye betimi deceive kakra because policy mixes government bi o ho a wo pe lower inflation inflation ya ye kan unim say sometimes a government policy it me decide say ye bema inflation no ye pese ye beating it down a little bit more. Some of it are policy decisions. You know that. Especially local brochure. How the nyasem keto ominua. Omo central banks so omo te interest rates near yi so keke. Sometimes by 0.25%. That's 1%. Aya chemu 4.
A big deal.
A big deal. Who meetings are If you all crap to say president or a bit aggressive to say Trump near day. Now saying no on any central bank head. Friend your friend is saying almost central bank there's the treasury and almost feds. So normal from Federal
Reserve.
That's their Bank of Ghana. And yes, I'm ketwa no I'm so much change bi kra ne ade yes I'm ketwa because of full say go nema bi ma growth ma the way I open so and yes I'm ketwa so that tells you say some of these are policy decisions. So in other words, government na to me decide they say policy mix ne yes saying your policy direction is saying you percent in be beating down inflation, but how fast do we want to do it? So because bibia or a hunsun so exchange rate, share a country like Canada, I where Matna bear say half of my life, as I've also lived about half of Ghana, almost equally. Canadian bia betro say the Canadian dollar, whether by magic, but mostly by policy. Okay? They are always interested in keeping the Canadian dollar between 70% and 75% of the US dollar. Because you know, Canada or US is rupee, and you know, you so much trading. Intino for Canadian for Canadian oil, petrol, right? Or for crude oil, pipeline. Is here the two more in nature say. So Canada no a year, and it's a smaller country by population. So Canada is only about 10% the size of US by population. 36 million versus 360 million people. US for about 360, Canada for about 36 million. So, and Canada was big land. Tiniama bibero agriculture, oil reserves in the but womu in here some export to power because who to know who need population na consuming. And money be so it's considered an export economy. And based on that, say currency it stays certain level optimal. The cost will be Canada for a currency do be 80% of the US dollar per na economy ejija. Intino optimal level manage enioma to make sure say keep sa currency to that level. So be to say currency even though important because and then for the kofanioma and imports ade or export and so affected. Any kind of trading in between countries is based on the exchange rate. However, and say a course na a bad kakra. And a call for more so not say good. And yes, simple sir. What is most important when it comes to currency, is stability. That's number one. Because stability over business person is able to plan. Onimu say na mi hia kofa ne omano. Me banso ametimi aton say market ne ko normal until me turn within this amount of time matimi asesa manya memfaso masako fa bio. Bacha what say. Until stability of currency big, most important. And sana rate na yeden aba. So the rate is important. But as I told you, no, so why you're careful because some of these statistics are ingredients. Into betimia for Maggie Cube. Maggie Cube, no, ebetimia manquino, it taste I improve it. But why she ni ye na would the gumu bebrea, ubewa, and I chinekra. And chine say, no, eboa, meboa. And so why she ye to me charimu. But ultimately, you need a certain level of enchine. I bema and kwana yeden. I perfect. And you know, currency, very important because say currency no ko esrono. Na boa ebinum. Ko formonso no na boa ebinum. And you know, exporters say say currency no ko form bebre na omo yeshi. Cocoa board issue account. I can tell you an authority say a second most important reason to cocoa board for a year hot because almost currency almost they shall say planning the current regime of cocoa board trading was around 15 cedis to $1 and a koya could do 10 so all of a sudden no because we export here
the obe
$1
about be in cedis
enti uji dollar no na time uji dollar no sa dollar no ye worth 15 cedis. They say uji the same dollar na say worth 10 cedis. You see the difference? So aha into exporters they no and there are other I don't mean economics
important any budget
but
exporter
no so there say ya the niaje
in a way krabi kamboma betimi I friend so and now can say so if we are in charge of the country's economy you would want to be sure what you are using the indicators for. To say them say to say now Canada day say 70% or 75% or 80% that of USD or the year then because you are an export driven economy. So all the year then there in Susan no ebe then amatimamu for no. What do you want to use that for? If you are sure,
and what is the ultimate
outcome? So that's what I mean by what
there
do
is
you
a
want
measurement
to use
because you can have whatever opinion or francophobia econometrics and econometricians. To say mathematicians of economics. Calculations policy decisions. You have to watch them very carefully because say why dream you may think that dollar na form so but you really have to make sure say econometrics for yeni. Then you have to also watch the actual outcome.
Your situation.
Into the actual outcome.
Your situation. What foundation. Your situation. The dollar now, I think it has stabilized for a while now.
It's stabilizable.
Okay, so it's comparatively it has stabilized over 11 months and how many months?
I won't call your dollar way stable. Our dollar has been.
It's fairly stable, isn't it?
It's been.
It's not fluctuating too, is it?
It's been
fairly stable.
It's appreciated. The CD has appreciated, and the dollar has depreciated. That's not stability. Technically speaking, that's not stability. Stability is where I say, baby.
Okay, so if the government gives you promises you say a be hover around a particular figure. No, yes, it has stabilized, hasn't it?
Okay. So if government decided say almost per se almost achieve a certain rate, that's what to me achieve. Then they've achieved stability within their policy decision. But ultimately, and you know,
so to me, a non-initiated,
okay,
it has stabilized.
That's fair. It has stabilized according to government policy direction. So to me, it has not been that stable. And the reason why I believe say it's not been that stable is say a movie government will buy within the first 3 months, it actually went up from about 14.7 to about 15.5. And then from April, government decided it's on be injected a friend forex intervention. So we have specific terms that we use no. And it's our forex intervention was a policy decision. Almost shall say auction dollars to bring down the rate. That was a chassis from April. And a koye until at some point, the CD was the best performing, and they do baby enough worst performing, and so it's been, quite a bit up and down, which is maybe one of the reasons until prices haven't budged as much. So because it's a business planning, say omo anhye dey ye potting, so to say. Say na dollar na be ye ebia for some period of time, and usually it take time and sana omo your confidence say okay say there ni ejina ni you don't tell them ono no tin ne store
do we have no casting store it mean say yes say shada war hard and fast we say be say no near the be chere say a stabilizer, because I remember when it started now by person abuso kind for any other traders set it up no but the issues been say no, they are steady, they are trying to be person trading cautiously, person how sustainable it was going to be. I remember some even said say I buy no more 3 months now, and then it got to 6 months, and then now it's past 6 months. Almost trying debut. It's
and I make us say sometimes when markets ankasa determine rates na without policy intervention, that one over time markets na you remember the markets have invisible hands and invisible forces. So beyond
no, you can't underrate them. I understand.
Yes. No, but markets is so powerful. Say, but then what me determine send your prices get determined. Obia ante Jubilee House na set prices. Say my meboa, Dokno price, Chinam price. All those things in your invisible forces na war market. There is no unique communist.
Me come invisible forces.
Oh, it travel long time. So inti. Market na then it me determine normally there is stability, and you see that in the first year of Nanado's government 2017 say so a dollar no crab from kakra, it went from about 4.3 to 4.1. Wasn't a huge but it's still and then over time no sharing normal pace within the first 3 years now it's almost like a very normal with the CD would depreciate kakra.
Because when Dr. Baumiaka said it's been arrested and the keys
sure.
have been given to.
So what you say? So
too bad. Time no call.
And we bet me a set rate but when any market na determine rate now government is what is kabe gumwa. The money ye hune say anytime you introduce human intervention into markets a tie the unexpected disruptions. Right now, farmers be very hot, including even not just cocoa, but palm nut, oil palm is in serious distress, affecting about 1 million farmers because there's a lot of flooding. Ghana Hano a market IFM more because of the dollar. Dollar is a bit undervalued. because of government interventions. So and the cedi is a bit overvalued. And you know, a my market way no be more attractive to imports. So what I say, and you know, according to
a ton 11 cedis or ha near ton $1 or ha. And I say be a ton 11 cedi or ha. Na say meet me no 70 cents baby. Obi bet me for 70 cents.
Yes. Anytime or currency, foreign currency, cheaper now. Increase imports. And I'm just saying, say, real GDP. I just saw an headline said GDP growth in the last quarter was 4.2 or so, which is very low compared to 7.1 or something like that.
To me grow alongside the real GDP. That's when you will say
policies now is having the right outcome.
Let's have another schedule for this same conversation.
Sure.
But I have enjoyed the short conversation now. You're Prince Ofosu Sefah Edin Komono now. Time by 1 year but I think we've been able to touch on a few things. The best atwas will be near Edin Komono. We need to say Patu, high original television. I didn't cast a judgment in Copoya Noma, Ochina, Ebeba, na Eddie, weekend, Abaria. Namin Kenya, bye bye.
Original TV, Ghana ye Dini.